Opening the way to Earth was their final mistake. The galaxy remembers the dead. The Korthax Empire had ruled the Perseus Arm for 3,000 years. When they discovered the hyperspace corridor leading to an isolated star system called Sol, they saw opportunity. New worlds, new resources, new subjects for the Empire. They opened the gateway without a second thought. High Commander Vex Thor stood aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion as they emerged in Earth's orbit. Preliminary scans showed a primitive civilization, nuclear technology, early space stations, no FTL capability. Perfect for conquest and integration. Deploy subjugation protocols, he ordered. Broadcast our terms. Submit or be reduced to atoms. The response came in a language their translators struggled with, but the meaning was clear enough. Leave. Now. Final warning. Vex Thor's mandibles clicked with amusement. They dare threaten the Korthax? Destroy their orbital installations. Show them the price of defiance. The Empire's plasma lances fired. And Earth fired back. The humans had no shields, no energy weapons, no technology that should have threatened a Korthax dreadnought. What they had were kinetic weapons, crude missiles filled with nuclear warheads, launched by the hundreds. The Korthax shields absorbed the first wave easily. The second wave overwhelmed them. The third wave cracked the Eternal Dominion in half. Vex Thor's last thought before the vacuum took him was confusion. How had primitives? But Earth had never been primitive. They'd been isolated. There's a difference. The Korthax sent a second fleet, then a third, each one larger, more aggressive, determined to punish humanity's resistance. They landed ground forces on every continent, expecting quick victory. Instead, they learned what 7 billion humans willing to defend battlefield. The Korthax had conquered 40 species, but none had fought like this, with such ferocity, such utter refusal to surrender. After 2 years of brutal ground combat, the Korthax achieved orbital superiority and began systematic bombardment. If they couldn't rule Earth, they'd sterilize it. The nuclear winter lasted 6 months. By the time the ash cleared, 4 billion humans were dead. The Korthax celebrated their victory and moved on to consolidate their new territory. That was their final mistake. What the Empire didn't understand, what they learned too late, was that Earth wasn't alone anymore. The hyperspace corridor worked both ways, and the 4 billion survivors hadn't spent those months mourning. They'd spent them reverse engineering Korthax technology. The human fleet that emerged from Sol System 18 months later bore no resemblance to Earth's old vessels. Cobbled together from salvaged Empire ships, powered by stolen reactors, armed with weapons designed by engineers who'd learned war the hardest way possible. Captain Maria Santos commanded the lead ship Remember Them, a destroyer built from the wreckage of the Eternal Dominion. On her crew were farmers, teachers, parents, children, anyone who'd survived, anyone who remembered. The Korthax homeworld of Korthven had never been attacked, not once in 3 millennia. The human fleet changed that in 48 hours. For Earth, Maria whispered as the orbital bombardment began. The Korthax military scrambled to respond, but humanity had learned their playbook. Every tactic, every strategy, every weakness, bought with billions of lives. The Empire's fleets, scattered across the Perseus Arm, rushed home to defend their core worlds. They found human ships waiting at every major outpost, every supply line. 40 species subjugated by the Korthax received the same message. Rise up. We'll provide weapons. Together, we end them. The Empire collapsed in 6 months. Where Korthax fleets once patrolled, memorial stations now orbited, built by the liberated species, maintained by humans. Each one broadcasting the same message in every known language. Here lies the Korthax Empire. They opened a door to Earth. They killed 4 billion humans. In response, humanity ended 3,000 years of tyranny